So I told everyone I would film this bean hill 3 weeks later. It's exactly 3 weeks. Beans are a surprising choice to retain a hill, but everything is completely covered, and the beans are starting to send out these climbers to find something to hang on to. Yeah, there's always a bit of this information problem, this idea of experimentation in the garden. A lot of gardeners would say to you, "Oh, you need to have fully decomposed compost to put seeds in the compost. You can't use beans to retain a slope." There's all these ideas and concepts that people are promoting, and they've never tried it out for themselves. When I have an idea, I'll just try it out. If it doesn't work, what do I have to lose? Not a lot. And that's the best way to garden, is this idea of experimentation, mixing different seeds together, getting them to grow together, all these things, companion plants. It's all about learning this concept of experimentation. This here is a really good example, this bean hill. In Ecuador, we have all these problems with these hills washing down. And, if you have this covered with beans, the water, first of all, has to get through the top, the leaf cover, then through the root cover, then it's got to loosen up the ground, and then it's got to send it down the hill. So this is probably one of the best ways to prevent landslides if you do it on a bigger scale. It works incredibly well here. So experimentation is so important in the garden, and very few people are doing it. And when you receive a piece of information, like even this information that I'm giving you, take it with a grain of salt. It might not be true for where you live. This might be a different location, better rain, better moisture, whatever it may be. You might not have the same conditions as I have on this hill. So you've got to be very cautious with information and treat it really in your favor, in your own personal favor for your own location. So the objective of this hill was to retain the soil and to make sure that this twitch grass wasn't getting any sunlight. So we wanted to snuff out the sunlight for the twitch grass. So what it means is that the beans are creating these flat layers, and the flat layers don't let any sunlight get to the ground, so the twitch grass doesn't have any chance. So what we've done is we have all these fruit trees and lupins and other trees coming out of the beans. So their roots are completely protected from the equatorial sun, which is really important for these to grow incredibly well. We've covered everything with 10 different types of beans. So I can see already there's different behavior. Some of them have really big leaves. Some of them have really pointed leaves. Some of them have really green leaves. So there is a big variety of beans in the hill. And what that means is we're going to have a little bit of a soil diversity, micronutrient diversity, microorganism diversity, because these beans will grow a little bit different from each other, attract different microbes, etc. And it's going to be a more healthy environment having these 10 different beans here. So listen to this. If you have to deal with really steep slopes on your property, these beans are definitely an option. They will really tie up your soil. We have so many rocks in this, and the beans are going in between the rocks and stabilizing this hill incredibly well. And this is after 3 weeks. We never get winter here, so these beans will probably constantly reproduce and regrow. So this could be a permanent installation, these beans constantly occupying this hill. That's going to be one of the observations I need to make, if this is a perennial solution or an annual solution where these beans die off because of maybe running out of energy or whatever it may be. So stay tuned. We're gonna, maybe make another video when this like completely fills in. And I can't think of any other solution, maybe pumpkins, maybe sunflowers, that would do this job on a hill like this so profusely, so strongly, and so quickly. The germination rate of these beans in this type of beautiful weather, where it always rains a little bit, is within 3-4 days, we've got growth already. Now I have to talk about how we have installed these beans. Not all the beans were pushed into the ground. A lot of them are on top. And what the beans do is they'll send out the roots. Even though the bean itself is in the sun on top, it'll send the roots into the ground and start to grow, even though it was never pushed in the soil. Another big story here is that the leaves of the beans are protecting the beans that are just loose on the ground, so they're covered from the sun. So the moment you get growth, it protects the beans that aren't in the ground and it allows them to grow right away. So it's quite impressive how quickly that happens and how much this working together of a collective happens with these beans here in the ground. This is definitely a collective effort that's going to benefit the entire hill. It's going to benefit these taller trees. It is definitely an option for any gardener that has steep slopes to consider using beans as your basically your retaining wall.